Hello, friends, and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. Do I have a treat in store for you today? Today, we are looking at the role of Venus and Mars, not only in astrology, but Venus and Mars in relationships and how to have better relationships. You're going to love this talk. And I'm talking today with Melinda McClimans. I met Melinda out at the Ohio solstice recently in June, and she's a member of my Patreon family. Now, I'm a big believer in community and supporting one another in community. This comes from my upbringing in a very small rural town in Australia where we looked out for each other and helped each other's businesses to thrive. So when I got chatting to Melinda at this solstice event and I heard all about her business and its focus on Venus and Mars energy, I thought this is perfect to share with my community here online. So our Patreon family is a wonderful community of astrology lovers, businessmen and women, people with all sorts of backgrounds and interests, and we make a beautiful, connected community at Patreon. And it was so lovely to meet Melinda out at the solstice event and to then take this step to interviewing her and sharing her wonderful work with all of you in YouTube land. So may you enjoy this video, and without any further ado, let me introduce to you Melinda McClimans. Well, hello everybody in YouTube land, and do I have a treat for you today? Joining me is the wonderful Melinda McClimans, and she is from Venus Mars Coaching. Melinda, so lovely to have you with us at Guiding Star Astrology.
Thank you, Ksenia.
And I've got to
Wonderful to
say,
be here.
yeah, I've got to say, I love the title of your coaching company. It is so perfect, especially considering the themes of what you focused on in your coaching. Melinda and I met recently. You've known me for quite a while through my Patreon family. You're
Yes.
my
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
It's so lovely to have you as a member there. But I met you with Nancy out
Mhm.
at the solstice event in Ohio that happened
Yes.
in June, rather than
Ksenia's the
here in
real deal, everyone. I met her in person.
Bless
She's
you. Well,
she's she is the real like in person she's even more, warm, and she's a very real person and she's genuine.
thank you
So,
so much,
yeah.
Mel. That is so lovely, and
It's true.
well, I just love meeting you guys too. I mean, and doing this sort of thing online, this is how I met my husband. So often, community is found in different places these days than maybe to what it was when we were growing up.
Absolutely. I mean, I love visiting islands when I go on vacation because the vibe is so much more like people are looking out for each other.
Yes, yes. Like tropical islands like Fiji and places like that.
Or even like in like near Seattle and Puget Sound.
Oh, wow.
Any island, it's like because they know they need each other to survive, I think. There's like an unconscious layer there of community, like that is like a non-negotiable. Like we look out
Absolutely.
for each other, and I love that feeling.
You've got to, or else you don't survive as a small community like that. So it is actually beautiful. Now, Melinda, I want to hear all about your work, and it is so fascinating to me. Do you want to give us an overview of what you're doing with Venus Mars coaching and what that's all about?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm a gender intelligence coach. And
What
what
does
that
that
means,
entail? Yeah.
yeah, I mean, almost anything because masculine and feminine energies play into everything. I think the easiest way for me to illustrate that is just to talk about challenges I faced. I really thought that um, being independent and being professional were the same thing when I first started my career, and I was trying very hard in the world of academia to find my place and to be successful. And I was leaning hard into authority, leaning hard into, you
Leadership
know,
and
yeah, leadership, but the form of leadership that actually doesn't come authentic to me.
right.
And so, long story short, my father had a stroke
sorry.
and we almost lost him. This was like 15 years ago.
Mm.
And that was a real wake-up call. Sometimes it takes a crisis in your life
Yep,
to
absolutely.
change your inner world. And it just totally reprioritized things for me. And I started to put relationships first. And it started a process of discovery and I started studying the brain actually because of my dad's stroke.
Of course.
And I thought, wow, I really minimized and downplayed my feminine energy, my unique needs as a person, you know,
Mm.
partly because I'm a woman, I'm female, like my brain and my hormones and they found now even our cells, every molecule in our bodies are either female or male,
Mm.
which is
Mm.
incredible.
Amazing. But
So
don't you
yeah,
find that we are really in society these days pushed to be, as women, more masculine? And I find men
yes.
seem to be pushed to be more feminine rather than fully embracing
Isn't
who
it true? Yes.
it's topsy-turvy, It's really topsy-turvy. I
Mhm.
feel, and so tell us about the counseling side of what you do. Are you helping men and women get back to their inner core identity? Is that part of what you're doing?
It is. It's a really important part of becoming authentic to yourself these days because of the situation we were just talking about, where
Mm.
women are pushed toward the masculine and men are pressured in other ways toward their feminine sides in an unrealistic way. And it's so important to be authentic. And so part of what a coach does is to walk side by side with you in your journey of transformation and just achieving what you want in your life, according to your goals. And what my job is to hold you accountable to your goals, to find resources for you, maybe do some workshops, do some reading on masculine and feminine topics, but it could be a whole range of things because it all depends on like what the client wants and what
Yeah.
what you know what challenge in their life they want to tackle, and it's all informed by gender intelligence.
Mm.
So it really does come down to that, and
I
I
love that it's
think
client led. That's just so important. You're not pushing an agenda
exactly.
on anybody else.
No, no,
Mm.
and everyone's an individual, and
Yeah.
everyone's going to have a different combination of masculine and feminine energy that they express. And so, who am I to say how someone should be? I'm not, that's not what I'm in the business of doing. I'm in the
No.
business of, charting a plan to go forward, transformation, and just, reaching full potential, like helping my clients reach their full potential.
I love it because, I mean, you're a lover of astrology, as am I.
Yes,
And we
yeah,
all know Venus and Mars are in different places in everybody's chart, meaning we have a different expression of masculine and feminine based on the energies that we are exhibiting from our astral chart that we were born with. So, I mean, we have to be, as astrologers and as a gender counselor, we have to be flexible with regard to people's unique expression. And that's just part of the beauty of it, I think, discovering the
yes,
uniqueness of each person and allowing people to step into their full unique selves and expression, not trying to be something that fits a societal narrative or idea that might be currently trendy or something.
wholeheartedly agree. Yes, yes, you get it. You get me.
Look, I've always been intrigued by the dance of Venus and Mars in the sky and within, actually, as well. Even before I discovered astrology, probably actually since I read Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus by John Gray in the
Yes,
1990s. Has
yes.
he influenced your work as well?
That's exactly who created the coaching certification I have.
How brilliant. How
So
brilliant.
he has done years of work with men and women on relationships. And a lot of the knowledge and understanding about that interplay between Mars and Venus comes from, workshop after workshop, working with men and women and getting their feedback and their input on their experience in life and what really works for them and what doesn't. And and then if you combine that with brain science, it validates that even more. So the more we explore, the more we find this is a really um, kind of obvious in some ways body of knowledge, but also it's submerged. So the name of my company, Archipelago Rising, that's my consulting company, it's all about there's these islands of knowledge under the surface, and together building community, we build them up until they're visible again and we can see them again and build the future we want to see. So that's very much Mars Venus. Like the mission of Mars Venus is to change the world one relationship at a time. And I really, really love that so much.
Yes.
Um,
I've got
yeah.
to ask though, do you have strong Pisces or Neptune? Or
Yes.
I was going to say your reference to islands twice so far in our interview. I
Yes.
think,
Yes.
oh, you've got to have that somewhere.
I Well, feel like Jupiter is it's my savior.
Ah, isn't he
It's my
always?
soul's anchor in this life to get me through the hard times because I've got it sextiling my moon and trining. I have three planets in Cancer. So my Jupiter is in Pisces. And I have kind of a stellium in Cancer that create this cluster that it's trining, So it's like I have a very tough opposition because my moon is in Capricorn and my
Right.
Saturn is in Cancer.
Oh, wow. So that's
So
a mutual exchange as well. Goodness me.
it's
Mm,
really awful.
mm,
Um, and but with Jupiter there, it's like, the wisdom and the luck and the appreciation of beauty and, kind of turning lemons into lemonade kind of
mm.
energy that I think is a big strength for me.
Absolutely. Well, Jupiter will be trining your Cancer and sextiling that Capricorn. He's really the space holder in many ways for your life, isn't he?
Yeah,
Just beautiful. Just
yeah,
beautiful. Well,
yeah.
maybe as we're talking about astrology, I might talk a little bit about from an astrological perspective and feel free
Yeah,
to jump in, the cosmic dance of Venus and Mars, and then we might get into a bit of the nitty-gritty of um, what your dynamic is with your counseling service, and we might look at perhaps a
sounds good.
particular topic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, like when we look up at the night sky and see Venus and Mars, they're actually two of the most distinct objects in the sky. Venus is this brilliant white beacon, in the sky, brightest planet in the heavens. And Mars, I don't know if you saw Mars when when Mars was at his closest proximity to the Earth, which was like back in 2009 or 10. He was like this flaming eye, just so close
Hmm.
and red and bright. It was incredible. And when he is at his closest to the Earth, or I should say, when he's in an opposition to the sun, he's just like incredibly beautiful in the sky. But together, Venus and Mars, they create this celestial rhythm that is known as the Venus-Mars cycle. So Venus moves much faster than Mars. Obviously, it orbits very much closer to the sun than the Earth does. So we've got Venus, then Earth, and then Mars. And from our vantage point on Earth, it moves quickly. It completes a full journey around the sun in about 225 days. And it's never more than 48 degrees away from the sun in an astrology chart. And it's always, therefore, appearing either as the morning star or the evening star
Right.
to
Yeah.
sunset.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful energy. But
Yes.
Mars being located on the other side of the Earth, it's actually part of the group of planets beyond Earth that move slower and take
Right.
longer than a year. So it takes roughly nearly 2 Earth years, about 687 days, depending. It's fascinating, actually, a very variable orbit. And so I think Tychos and Kepler had a great deal of trouble trying to like work out the how Mars does actually circle in the sky. But that's a whole
Yeah.
other topic we won't get into here. Maybe that says something about the masculine in us, maybe a bit unpredictable. But this Mars energy. 2 years to circle the sun, and Mars can be anywhere in the zodiac chart relative to the sun, which is
Okay.
different to Venus, which is always staying close to the
Right.
our
Interesting.
ego,
Yeah.
and our sense of how we shine and our sense of worth and value. So Venus
Yes.
is always close to that. Very, very interesting. Now, yeah, so they meet up in the sky roughly between 1.5 to 2 years. It's never exactly predictable because of this erratic, let's say, orbit of Mars. So every 1.5 to 2 years, they come together in the sky. Um, and so this is the seed point that happens. Like all cycles happen with a conjunction and the opening phase and a full phase and then a closing phase. That's how all cycles work. So when Venus and Mars conjunct together at the exact same spot in the sky, it's a new cycle that represents a celestial spark, fresh new passions, new relationship themes, creative inspirations that are unfolding and being seeded at that time. And
Mhm.
then in the opening phase, Venus moves beyond Mars, ahead of Mars, because Venus is faster. And this is when that initial seed gets tested in the real world. And it's a time when we're being
Ah.
encouraged to build upon our passions
Mhm.
that were seeded at the beginning, to establish healthy boundaries and figure out how to utilize and balance our autonomy in the world. That's the Mars energy, and how to balance that with our connection to other people, which is the Venus energy. And then
Yeah.
we get to the opposition when they're sitting directly opposite one another in the sky. And this is the peak of the cycle, halfway point, if you like. And it really manifests as a crucial turning point for relationships or creative projects that were seeded at the beginning of the cycle. So mostly it's going to highlight at that time where we need to compromise and find balance, or where we need to practice a little more of the win-win approach to life. That
Yes.
give and
Negotiate. Yes.
yeah, yeah. But sometimes because it is an opposition, there can be friction in learning those lessons of balance and harmony, of course. And then
Right.
we have the closing phase when Venus catches Mars again, and completes the loop, and the focus shifts from like through a process of reflection and refining what's been learnt and releasing any outworn relationship patterns or ineffective impulses in readiness for the brand new seed that's going to come. So we're always seeding and growing with
Wow.
relationships and creativity. And I'm sure this
That's
will
awesome.
tie
Wow.
in to what you do in your work.
Yes. Yeah, that's awesome. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's very like John
uh,
Gray's analogy in his
yes.
book about the rubber band pulling out and then
Yeah.
contracting and coming back and pulling out and contracting. It's the same
Yes.
kind of.
Yes, yes, yes.
I can't help wondering if he was actually is a devotee of astrology. Do you know?
He is very aware of spiritual traditions from around the world. He was a monk for a
Oh,
while.
wow.
Yeah. He was a monk. He had a guru in the Hindu tradition for a while. And as you know, I mean, astrology is a big part of that culture.
Yeah.
And he's very much a spiritual person, and his books are like Mars Venus is just the tip of the iceberg. Like he has a lot of wisdom about healing, actually.
Mm.
That's very powerful in his books. So I would not be surprised. And I just love what you're saying. I mean, I love how your work is so focused on growth and
Mm.
like using the stars to make yourself better, like to try to seek, seek your soul's purpose actually, because he's really big on that too. So it's very
Mm.
aligned. I mean, it's very aligned. I mean, I think that's kind of what it comes down to, right? Like we get away from our soul's purpose, we kind of forget who we are, we get discouraged, we get depressed, and then we need some kind of wisdom or purpose or signs, to get us back on the path.
Yeah, totally. Totally. And is that part of the way you work with your coaching service?
Ultimately, yes.
Yeah.
What you need to do is get through your emotional blocks that are keeping you, or some people call them limiting beliefs that,
Mm,
are keeping you in cycles that don't allow you to fully walk the path of your soul's mission in life.
yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. It's all about that. Yes.
Would you want to give us an example, perhaps, of like some of the themes that you work with? You sent me a wonderful little piece about how men and women handle stress. I'd love you to talk to that because I'm sure everybody at this point in history could very much identify with feeling a little bit under pressure. And how do we handle that? How do we grow through that process?
That's a great piece of background information to for everyone,
Hmm.
because it's just so helpful in life to understand that there are big differences between the way males and females need to recharge, respond, and be a conscious responder when it's a stressful situation.
Mm,
And all of us can become reactive and, succumb to just, unconscious patterns. All of us, are human. And in fact, men and women we're human. We're mainly the same, mainly similar, but when we're not stressed, when things are good, it's easy. We're more the same. We need the same things. But if things get stressful, not only do we need different things, we can start stressing each other out.
yes. Oh,
So, and,
how do we avoid that?
how do we avoid that?
Yes.
So, exactly. So, I'm just gonna pull up my notes.
Hmm.
So, practicing safe stress. And this is so important. It's important for everyone, but if you're married, especially because,
Mm,
when you're living with somebody, it's self-care and also understanding their needs that they may not understand, because a lot of these things we don't understand about ourselves necessarily
true.
to the degree that maybe we should. And
And look,
so
I hate when I am stressing about finances or whatever it might happen to be, that is impacting the people I love and care around me because I'm like, "Meh." And I'm like, okay, so how do I give me some tips on how to
there you go.
process and approach that?
Well, one of the things to be aware of is that when when women talk, when anyone talks, estrogen goes up,
Mm.
oxytocin goes up, because have you ever noticed that people kind of, misery loves company?
Yeah.
Because if women feel alone, stress goes up. We are not built to feel alone and without support, especially in a stressful time. We are built to seek help and support. And that is what talking is. That's why women, if you read Mars Venus, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. One of the concepts, which is still really important to know, is the Venus talk.
Mm.
So, being able to ask your partner, ask your husband, can I just have 5 minutes just to share what I'm going through? I don't want solutions. It'll make me feel so much better just to feel heard. It's just this funny thing that, it just will make me feel better. I don't need solutions. Because what men can do, because that doesn't help them at all. So they don't relate to that.
Mm.
They wouldn't really necessarily talk to feel better if they're stressed. So they don't, it's not intuitive for them. They're like, oh, well, let me fix it, because that's what Mars does. It's like go into
That's right.
action. Let me
Yeah.
fix it for you. Let me remove this problem for you. But you're like, well, no, I mean, I can handle it. It's just right now I'm stressed. I need to feel your support, you
I
know?
always thought that was a Libra thing because I'm a Libra moon and I'm always like, just let me articulate it and then I'll understand it and process it better. Just
Yes.
let me talk it out. But
Yeah. And
and
that's, and
obviously Libra's ruled by Venus, but it's a girl thing too, isn't it?
And you just hit upon another aspect of the differences, which is like in brain differences. Women process more in our white matter and
Oh.
our, yeah. So like when we're processing the world, it's in an interconnected way, and we're looking at how all the pieces fit together to
Hmm.
give a full context, to understand the problem and then solve it. Men, on the other hand, or Mars or males, or women on their masculine side as well, will want to narrow the problem down very quickly and be like, oh, well, just, what that other stuff that's not high priority, just focus on this. So like we'll find, our husband will come in or our partner will come in and be like, well, let me help. You're focusing on too much. Just fix that. And you're like, I was just in the middle of sorting through all this stuff and you've interrupted me and now I'm like 10 times more stressed. So
Hmm.
that's a way that Mars and Venus collide. And John Gray's book, When Mars and Venus Collide, is really great for all this stuff. And he's got a couple other books too that talk about the brain and the hormone differences. But those are
Oh,
the
I
two
haven't heard of that.
biggies.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. I'll
between
have
men and
to.
women.
So there's men are from Mars, women are from Venus. When Mars and Venus
Venus
collide.
collide. Yes.
Okay, that's the one I need to get because I haven't read that
Yes.
one. Hmm.
Totally. Yeah. Totally read that. There's also Beyond Mars and Venus, which is like now we have the added layer of, since Mars and Venus first came out, therapy has become so much a part of our culture,
Oh, hasn't it? Yeah.
and men are told to talk and to share their feelings, and women are told to talk and share their feelings, but that can actually create, in a situation of stress, that can actually create more conflict.
Wow. Okay.
So beyond Mars and Venus, it acknowledges like, yeah, now things are different. Like women don't just want a guy to, basically have this really strict gender role where he's just the provider and protector and she's just the homemaker or the nurturer. We want it all. I mean, we really want the romance. We want, we want to feel connection, and we do want that emotional sharing and connection, and just a higher level of relationship, more conscious, more, because now women we can provide for ourselves more and
Exactly.
more.
Yeah.
So but we still want to feel like our man is
Our
like
hero.
our
That,
hero. We're
yeah.
depending on him for something really important. And that's key for our estrogen to stay high. So many conflicts are not things therapy can fix. It's things that hormones fix.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually, because I mean, tell the world all my dirty secrets, but I'm on HRT, and it had I didn't want to go off it. It's been the best thing I've ever
I
done.
know. Yes.
It's so
Yes.
good, and that's since my mid-30s when I had a hysterectomy. So it's like, oh, thank goodness, my finally I feel more balanced and whole and able to mostly cope with things. I mean, life still gets stressful, but I'm not sort of,
Hormones are so important. I
mm,
mean, and HRT, or for Americans, HRT, is often just a game changer for women. Of course, I'm not going to give medical advice here, but yeah, but
no.
it's for that reason, that um, we're pushed into our masculine all the time, and cortisol and testosterone go up in us. So we literally, whenever we're stressed, we're going to our
Yeah.
masculine side.
Mm.
And so, and one of the gifts I'd love to give your audience is I have a list of oxytocin raising activities,
Oh, yes,
a
please.
PDF.
I love
So
that.
I'll put it in the chat. And it's just, like it can be having a Venus talk. That's a big one. Like it can be with you. It doesn't have to be with your partner or your husband. It can be with a friend, just sharing about your day, like literally just sharing anything about your
Mm.
experience with another human will raise your oxytocin and your estrogen,
Yeah.
So I'll
Do
just
you want to read through them? Is it extensive? I'm just having a look
sure.
at where's the chat? There it is there.
Here,
Yeah. Give
I'll
us a
put it.
read through, and then I can add it at in the description below for people to refer to. But I'd love you to list through some of the
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah, get a massage.
Oh, yes.
Anything where somebody is helping you, supporting
Mm.
you, getting your nails done, getting your hair done, and doing it in a way where you really let go and just get, let them pamper you. It's also kind of your energy, it's energy's everything. That's why I love talking to you about this stuff
Yeah.
because it's
Well,
really
this is
energy.
this is remedies for Venus. Like that is they're totally Venus remedies, and it happens. We're recording this on a Friday, Venus Day, which is a great
Hey,
day to practice Venus remedies. It's
yes,
the perfect energy. When in Vedic astrology we offer remedies for weak planets, etc. And so we always say do your Venus remedies on Venus Day because that's when the Venus energy can be more readily utilized by your energetic field.
there you go. I mean,
So
now, so we're 10 timesing all the impact of
that's
this.
it.
If you combine astrology with science, I mean,
Perfect.
and some might say they're one and the
They're
same.
one and the same. That's right.
Sing in the shower.
Oh, yeah. And
The
don't the
voice.
acoustics work better when you're in the shower?
Yeah, and the voice. And that's a Taurus Venus thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Oh, that is a fabulous remedy. I hadn't even thought of that one. That's really
Um, yeah, I mean, I think baths and showers are fantastic to get back into your feminine energy. And in my journey, well, I started saying, I had no idea what I was doing, Ksenia, because I was so in my masculine, but I was like, I am just going to, kind of be me. And I followed my intuition. And one of the things I did was take not necessarily singing classes, but voice training. Like how do I, and now I'm feeling self-conscious about my
no.
voice. Like,
I want you to sing for us.
yeah, like how do I make my voice more stronger and better vibes? And I just was like really I got really kind of obsessed with my voice because your voice is your presence. Other than your
Yeah.
body, your voice creates that vibration.
It's
Um,
healing too to sing. Like frequency healing comes when you hum, when you sing, sound baths and all those sorts of vibrational instruments and everything. Your voice is one of
that's
those
so true.
vibrational healing instruments. So
It's so true.
glorious. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I will sing to my dog, and my dog has several theme songs.
What
And
kind of dog is he?
well, he's asleep on the bed. I should actually show you. Can you see?
Oh, it looks very happy there.
He,
Gorgeous.
he had
That's
a grooming
adorable.
today, so he's kind of wiped out. Um, but yeah, it change like if I'm feeling stressed, it immediately changes my vibe and makes me more. And Venus is love too, so
Yeah.
bringing a loving energy too, like just getting yourself in that feeling of like open-hearted,
Mm.
connected, bringing the feeling of connection to others, to
Yeah.
your surroundings.
Bringing more love into the world in general. Yeah.
It's true.
It's funny you talk about being in your masculine. Years ago, I had a face reading done, which is basically taking half of your face and sort of mirroring it, and then the other half and mirroring that. And so
Hmm.
one side's your masculine, left or right, I can't remember which, you probably know. One side's your
I don't.
masculine, the other side's the feminine. And when I looked at these two faces of mine, I was like, my masculine is utterly exhausted. You could just see it in the face. And the
Wow.
Venus energy was a little bit like a little girl, not fully in her womanly power. So the
Hmm.
masculine, I could see through this face reading mirror flip thing that I was just fully so in my masculine that I was exhausted on that part of myself.
Hmm.
The woman in me needed to be found and step up and
Yeah.
not step up and be tough, but
No.
learn to receive that
Yes.
love. And like you're talking about getting your nails done or having a massage, that's a receiving, isn't it? Whether you pay
Yes,
for it or whatever, it's
exactly.
receiving.
Exactly,
Mm,
exactly. Yeah, right on. Spot on. Yeah. I can relate to that so much. It really sounds like that face reading was very insightful for you.
Oh, it's incredible. It's an incredible service. If you ever find somebody who does it, by all means. I used to have a lady who worked with me here at Guiding Star Astrology who offered that service. So if anyone's really keen, I can put her a link to her Facebook page, perhaps in the description below, and you can
Mhm.
contact her for that service. But it's truly empowering to see, just to see, hang on a minute, I need to be kind to myself, and it's when you see it visually, it's really does hit home. Um,
Mhm.
but I'm curious. I mean, there may be more things that more remedies that you want to talk about.
There's 100, so I could, but I
Oh,
mean,
I will
but
put the
everyone
link.
will have it. Yeah, everyone.
I'll
Yeah.
put, but I'm curious for men, like, how do they handle stress? And
Hmm.
as a woman, how
Yes,
can I best support my partner or my sons when they're freaking out
absolutely.
with the way things are?
I love you for asking that question because you know, that's beautiful to think about how Venus and Mars help each other.
They
And
do.
you kind of hit it before with the rubber band thing.
Mm.
Because, and men may not, especially these days, even know this. They might not be thinking like, oh, I need cave time, but if they have stress, and if you think about it, the kind of stress that Mars encounters can be very, it's heavy lifting, right? So it can be dangerous, can be dirty, it can be heavy lifting, it can be, or if like you're a professor, it can be like, a heated debate, all those efforts expend testosterone and they need to rebuild it. So
Yeah.
they testosterone, people, there's a stereotype that it makes men aggressive. It really doesn't. It just really they need it for health and a feeling of power that's healthy and really important to be successful in life. And so those expenditures of testosterone, of course, deplete it, and they need to recharge and rebuild, do things that will rebuild the testosterone. So when they come home after a stressful day, they may check out, and
Yeah.
it's because they're depleted and when women want to connect with them at that point, that's kind of the worst thing they can do,
I
like we can
know.
do, because that will just raise their estrogen, which if they're feeling well and have a ton of testosterone, that feels great for them because it's like all the juicy hormones are together. But if they're depleted already, you don't want to raise their estrogen higher than their testosterone. That's going to really make them feel worse. So we do affect each other. Like,
It seems like we're at cross purposes, Mel. Like,
it
we're
can
wanting to
be.
talk and they're just wanting to chill out.
In that scenario, yes. And,
Mm.
I mean, men are responsible for themselves and for saying, hey, babe, I would love to talk. Can we talk later? But men aren't always, we don't always have the skills, the relationship skills we
Or the
should, right? So,
awareness. Mm.
yeah. So the more we can do to understand one another and, avoid the unnecessary conflicts, the better. That's the way I look
Mm.
at it. Like,
Yeah.
and, I think also if you model and your partner gets interested because they like the effects and you're excited about it, maybe you watch some, John Gray videos together or read a book together about like when Mars and Venus collide or,
Mhm.
some of the other ones, but that's a great one to read together.
Yeah.
I think as if it's with like a married couple to just share and learn together so that you can be aware,
Yeah.
and support each other and not by mistake, I mean, um, yeah, I remember I I'm divorced from this person now, like for many years, but I he was playing video games. Video games is not the best way, but it is one way men also rebuild
Mm.
testosterone. They,
Of course, they're usually
they're
war
fighting.
games
Yeah,
and
yeah.
fighting or racing games. I know
Yes.
I've got two sons.
Yeah, yeah, So he would do that, and uh, I was kind of like fed up with the whole video game thing, and so I wasn't terribly understanding, and I remember I
It's
was just
very
like
gracious of you to
I
say
wasn't
that.
I wasn't terribly gracious, I was just kind of like talking to him, like kind of just ignore, like, you know what, I don't give a damn anymore. And I just started talking to him while he was playing a video game, and he just turned and snapped at me, And I mean, I couldn't. That's another thing about estrogen. It's very hard for us to forgive that as women. We'll
Mm,
hold on and we'll keep ruminating about that
mm,
stuff.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, we need to, as Venus, we need to go and have me time. You need to make me time. And that'll help Mars too. Me time, we time,
Yes.
and like our own energies for ourselves, but then and conscious time together, but just being mindful of those things. Like, so when we have our me time to do emotional processing,
Mm-hmm.
work through that till you can get into an energy of love again. And if you're like, no, that's still bothering me because it really is a valid issue, then you can bring it up with love and you're not going to be all blamey and like, make the other person defensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's another way that Mars and Venus will
I
start
know.
colliding.
Look, as a mum of, like I said, two boys, so much of my time was spent railing against their computer games, computer all the time. And in retrospect, I probably expected too much in that I was like, no computer games, go and be creative or go and, do
Right.
something else, when,
Yeah.
as you say, usually they get on straight after school because they wanted to decompress.
Yeah.
Um, and so I could have done better myself and given them, okay, here, have an hour where you
Right.
just go for it and then
Right.
help me with dinner, you know?
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, I mean, I think that's fantastic. Another thing with Mars, specificity. Mars appreciates specificity, and like, especially for me, just personally, it takes me a minute to figure out my specific ask. Like, I kind of know what I want, but I can't
Mm.
say I don't know exactly what I want.
Mm.
I know the type of thing I want. I want support. I want love. What does that look like? I don't know. But Mars wants to know something
I know.
specific. So like saying specifically, do you have 5 minutes to help me with something? Mars
Mm.
is almost always going to find the testosterone and get it boosted because they're thinking, oh, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to help her. She's going to be happy. If Mars doesn't feel like they're going to be successful, then they're even more like grumpy.
Yeah.
And so just kind of also get getting the perceptions more honed to where you see that's just grumpiness. It's not, and not take it personally,
That's
It's like a
it.
temporary grumpiness of Mars being like, are you sure this is really important enough for me to like, interrupt what I'm doing or whatever? Like, make sure you say it's specific. It's going to make me happy. That makes you successful. And
Mm.
they'll jump to it because
You're
that's,
so right when you say being able to articulate things is everything. So you've got to have an awareness and think about these things and articulate it perhaps in your brain first to be able to communicate, I need this or I need that. Um, yeah, it's truly fascinating. Do you work with men and women together or is it mostly as
yes, yes.
individuals? Oh, wow.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah. Mars Venus coaches. That's one of the things that makes us unique is it's also relation. So if you sign up for me for my coaching services, your partner counts too. Like
Wow.
I'd be happy to coach both of you if it's a relationship-based goal. That's
Mhm.
what the gender intelligence is really, really powerful for.
And so, do you classify yourself as relationship counselor? Because essentially, that is what you're doing when you dealing with a couple. Is it called, or you're not officially called
Um,
that?
that is a fine line to tread
Hmm.
because I'm not a therapist. Therapy is more focused on, emotions. And I think that that is really important. But mainly, I'm going to leave it up to my clients to work through using tools and resources. And maybe they need also a therapist if there's like a trauma or something.
Hmm.
As a counselor, I mean, that's my
Yeah,
personality. I
yeah.
will tend to jump in and counsel, but I really try to step back and listen and ask questions and because the solutions that are best will be what we come up with from our souls, like from our own knowing. So I don't want
Oh,
to
you
mess
are
with that.
so wise. That is so true. The soul really does know. And from an astrological perspective, I see it all the time. A person knows what they want deep in their heart. They just doubt either in their ability to get it, or whether the universe is going to bless them enough to be able to get what their soul is hungry for. But that desire that they have for a particular outcome, a particular goal, or whatever, that is actually a gift from the divine. That's the universe leading people. So very often people will come to me and say, oh, I want to work in this field and this is the career I really want to chase. But should I? I don't know if I should or I shouldn't. I look at their chart and I'm like, it's just screaming, please do this.
Oh, wow.
Like
Yeah.
so many
Oh
times.
my
And just
gosh.
so my point being, the soul knows what it really wants. We just lack the confidence or lack the understanding that that
Hmm.
impulse is actually a gift that we need to listen to. That's that voice inside us that is the higher
It
wisdom, if you
sounds,
like.
yeah. I mean, it sounds like exactly what you're doing is coaching, because really what coaching does is bring clarity
Yes,
through
yes.
tools and resources and walking through a process together of what we call it alignment, an alignment process. So we'll start off by kind of almost like spitballing, like, what do I want? What are my issues? What are my challenges? But then I'll ask my client to go deeper and go through a full process of alignment to get to some clarity on really what their goals are. Because we
Yeah.
don't keep in mind what we really want because of those limiting beliefs. So we have to sit down and do a little inner work. That makes it sound so heavy, but it is a process of alignment, and I kind of, hold you accountable to it, but it's very doable. And then the goals are much more, well, you want to do them more because they come from your true, your heart and your mind. Like that's what the alignment is between head and heart. So you have much more zeal or courage to do them because you really want to.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes good sense. So you can work with anybody anywhere, can you, through like Zoom
Yes.
sessions and so on? Which
Yeah.
isn't that a wonderful, I mean, everybody's talking about, oh, AI and all this sort of stuff is bad, bad, bad. But there's been some really wonderful things about the
Right.
process of the technology that now enables us to be able to offer our services and support worldwide through things like that. So you offer that, do you, through Zoom counseling and that
Yeah,
kind of thing?
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah,
Mm.
Zoom, really, whatever platform works, Zoom or Google Meet or whatever. And
Do people
uh,
still use Skype? That's something I haven't looked
I
at for a
don't
long
think
time.
so. I
Mm,
mean, hey, I'm whatever people want to use, I'll figure it out, you know.
I love it.
But yeah, Zoom seems to be the standard nowadays, and I have a newsletter as well. Like if someone wants to delve more into the topics, I'll be doing webinars. Like I have a whole webinar on practicing safe stress. So
Mm.
going more in depth and with more information about how to deal with stress. And I think that's a great, just really great for professional women, especially like myself. Like I really love that topic. But there's also like the secrets of great relationships and a couple others that I'm developing, like I'm learning to present from the Mars Venus catalog. So yeah, it's awesome.
How wonderful. And you know what? I think it's no coincidence that we are recording this video on stress and how Mars and Venus handle stress today, because I looked at the astrology and Venus is just separating from a square stress aspect with Mars.
Yes,
Mars is at 22 degrees, Venus at 23. So amazing
amazing.
timing. The universe is full of wonder and amazing circumstances like that. But it's so interesting. A Mars Venus square usually means um, well, it means a lot of different things. It means volatility in the markets, financially and commercially. It means impulsive spending, but it also means being more bold and provocative in how we want to dress and design things and decorate things, etc. And usually, I was just looking at what I was wearing as I was preparing for this conversation, and I'm like, I haven't worn these earrings because they're quite bold and bright and
Yeah.
outgo. And I'm like, God, that actually sums up that sort of provocative or bold, and flamboyant that that Mars Venus square, which exhibits in
And
how we
they're
dress
shaped as
sometimes.
squares too. They're shaped as
Sorry,
squares. They're
I
squares.
know that's true. That's funny. Well, look, a Mars Venus square also has a lot to say about social influences as well, which is a lot of what we're talking about. But Mars Venus square shows up at times when there's an issue of battle of the sexes collectively. It might come up.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. It often shows up in astrology when it highlights ongoing debates around gender roles or relationship standards or issues of consent and partnership equality that are happening out in the mundane world,
yes.
public
Yeah.
sphere. Um,
Interesting.
it is interesting, and it's very relevant whenever there's an issue of diplomacy and conflict, which is kind of what we're seeing in the world at the moment, of course. In mundane events, Venus represents things like treaties and peace talks and the financial markets and diplomacy, while Mars, it actually represents military action, competition, and aggression. So a square between the two often marks moments where diplomatic negotiations hit a wall and where peace talks require firm,
Hmm.
uncomfortable boundary setting. And same goes for relationships. So I'm kind of glad today that I realized that we're in this separating aspect.
Do
Things are
you
going to move
think,
more towards the trine now, which is so needed.
do you think, what do you think of a couple, like if they have their Mars and Venus squaring?
In
Like
synastry
how
or
would
composite
that
chart,
make the character of their relationship kind of more bombastic?
it definitely means that they have to be, look, David and I have this, just more conscious actually of um, the roles of gender in the relationship. It doesn't mean that there's just going to be constantly butting
Right,
heads and friction,
right,
but it
right.
means that gender roles and responsibilities might play a key part in the relationship dynamic. Um, it's so interesting just talking to this and thinking off the top of my head from my own relationship example. But my Mars
Hmm.
is in Leo, which is a masculine sign.
Hmm.
David's is in um, uh, Taurus, which is feminine sign. So
Okay.
who has the sort of the more masculine,
Ah,
feminine display? So yeah, it absolutely does affect our relationships based on the aspect between Mars and Venus, but also the sign between
oh,
Mars and Venus. Who's more comfortable in their masculine? Who's more comfortable in their feminine? Um, I would
oh.
say David's got a beautiful like male feminine expression. It's
Yes,
just, I mean, people who've seen him interviewed and met Dave, as you have. He's
yes,
just
yes.
this beautiful, gentle soul. It's just gorgeous.
And spiritual. I mean, I think for
Oh,
men,
yeah.
having the feminine is their spirituality to me in a lot of
Mhm.
ways.
Oh, that's often, yeah, exactly how it expresses. Whereas I'm a real go-getter, and
Hmm.
entrepreneurial and go, 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 go.
Yeah,
Workaholic, Mars in the sixth in Leo. So
yeah.
it comes naturally to me to be in that sort of not aggressive, but that more do kind of energy.
Uh-huh.
And so I learn a lot. I think you asked about the square aspect in relationships. I think
Yeah.
a lot of the time, our Mars Venus connections in relationship astrology are very
Uh-huh.
dependent on our maturity level. And
There
uh,
you go.
d- well,
Bingo. Yes.
am I realizing that that's there in the chart and I'm going to work through it or learn from it? Like I can learn so much from Dave's gentle Venus in Taurus energy, and I love leaning into that. Whereas when I was
Ooh, yeah.
younger, I might have found it a little bit not to my liking. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
not that he's not to my liking, but just that, well, come on, are you going to get to work and do blah, blah,
You
blah?
would have not really detected certain things because you
Yeah, I
just didn't have
think
the life experience to recognize, oh,
correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
totally. Yeah, same with me. Like when I was younger, now looking back, I realize like the partners who I could have now, I don't think I would have done well with like in my 20s, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Because we
So
grow and we mature and yeah, and both of us, both them, like Dave and I don't think in our 20s we might have liked each other, but whether we'd be good for each other in our immaturity is a whole other ball game,
who
you know.
knows? I know. I
The
mean,
timing's always as it should be.
I think that's so much a Gen X thing. Like my parents were married for 50 years and like I can't even imagine that. I love that they were and I feel so grateful I got to grow up with that. But I also am like, wow, that's so different. Like,
I
you
know.
know.
I'm the same. Like, oh, well done, you guys, but well done them. Yeah, but well, that's a whole other video we could do sometime is the generational
Oh, right.
influences because,
Yes,
you know, the way the boomers handle like relationships and handle male female energy must be very, very different to
totally. It's interesting to
X's
think
and
about.
millennials and
Well, I mean, Pluto was in Leo.
Leo.
And they love to party and they're just like, be yourself. Just don't worry about it. It's all good. Yay. Everything. But the thing is, they were still benefiting from gender roles. So they're
Mm.
like, oh, just be free, be yourself. Gender roles don't matter. But in reality, they were benefiting from the unconscious continuation of gender roles and being able to relate to each other with some kind of like sanity in terms of like there's a pattern, there's something we can predict, there's something, like our generation was like free for all craziness, we were just
Mm.
like, oh, be yourself. But then women went way off into their masculine sides,
Mm.
and like when I look at the way I dressed from a certain time period, because it was so 90s, like I'm like, damn, girl, you look bad. Like it was like I was getting, influenced by like I don't know, certain like celebrities that dress kind of masculine,
Mm,
like
mm.
women that, kind of toned down their Venus, like way, way down. Like that was cool, And I was like, I
You
can't
know,
believe I used to dress like that.
I know, but you know what I read just reminded me of this the other day. Isabel Hickey, famous astrologer from Boston, wrote in her amazing book about Uranus, and that Uranus has two cycles of 42 years each. And in one 42-year period, it will be in its more masculine, and in the other 42-year period, it will be in its more feminine. And I
Hmm.
believe, gosh, I'm trying to remember which one. One of these periods began in 87, and I think it was from memory. I think it might have been the masculine. So we are actually coming up to a shift of that energy where
Hmm.
Uranus will move into its more feminine expression. But it's interesting that you say in the 90s, not long after Uranus had shifted to its more masculine
Ah,
expression,
right.
that women started, and I remember, that androgynous look and
Yes.
was really, really popular. And what was it? Not goth. It wasn't goth. It was grunge look and
Grunge.
everything,
Grunge.
which
Yeah,
was not.
grunge.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's just
Yeah.
that's so interesting to me. So I'm curious to see what might happen now that Uranus is coming up to moving into a more feminine expression, if I'm recalling correctly there.
Yeah.
Um,
That sounds great. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, we
bring it
might all
on.
start wearing those, 1950s Chanel waists. It's actually, that's really
Yeah.
interesting because the feminine expression began in like, what is it, 87, so 45 at the end of the Second World
Okay.
War. And what
Yeah.
happened fashion-wise after that? We went to this Dior silhouette and the 50s, floral
Yes.
sundresses and the feminine, feminine, feminine. So
Yeah.
we may actually see a move back towards a real feminine silhouette and look and etc. Maybe even,
Hmm.
I mean, this is all hypothetical. We'll wait and see what happens after I think it's 2029 when Uranus shifts again
Hmm.
this energy. But it will be really fascinating to see if we move to a more feminine expression of dressing and, that sort of energy. And of course, it's not everybody suddenly becomes, dressing in pants like they're Katharine Hepburn or something. Um,
Hmm.
it's there's varying expressions based on your
Yeah.
own natal chart.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to observe those trends at those points in time.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've totally gone off on a different tangent. You're
I
talking
love that. I
Uranus, not
mean,
Venus and Mars right
I
there.
love talking fashion. I mean, I'm also thinking like at one point cars were so beautiful.
Wouldn't it be
Like,
great
and
to
it
go
was that
back to that
same,
again?
I know, it was that same time period of 1945 and to like 1955.
Yep,
Um,
color and beautiful, detailing and
Chip and I, Chip, my partner, is really into cars, and very masculine thing. And so we go to the Ford Museum.
Oh, I'd love to go there. I was just talking to someone about it the
It
other
is
day. It sounds
so
amazing.
fun. Yes, come back to Ohio, Ksenia.
I would. I love
Stay with
Ohio. Oh
me.
my God, I would live
And
there.
let's go explore
Beautiful.
because
Mm.
I love to like those cars were actually works of art. Like they were actually beautiful sculptures. Like,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And that's kind of the feminine, like Venus
Is
and the
beauty.
feminine. Yeah, I mean, there's also the moon, though. That's another thing I was like thinking, oh, I want to also talk to her maybe another time about the moon, like that dimension of
Hmm.
the feminine or femininity, or that just that whole dimension of life is also just so important.
This has
But
been such an amazing discussion, Mel, and I would
thank
seriously
you.
love to have you come back and share and talk about the lunar energy and lunar and solar. I mean, lunar and
Yes,
solar energies are very important in relationship astrology, so we could
yes,
absolutely explore that. That would be really wonderful.
yes, and in coaching too, and self-care, because everyone knows women have a cycle, but did you know men have a cycle?
No, I
It's the
didn't.
daily cycle,
Oh, what
the
is it?
sunset, sunrise. So testosterone peaks in the morning.
Oh. wanted to say something a bit dirty and I bit my tongue.
Well, everyone thought the same thing. Morning wood, right?
Morning
Sorry,
glory.
sorry, YouTube's gonna censor us, but there's a reason. It's the testosterone
Oh,
cycle.
I love it.
Yes,
Oh.
yes. So it's not just women. I
Mm.
always wondered that, as a kid, I was like, well, what's the men's cycle? Like when I found out that I was going to have a cycle and a menstrual cycle when I was a kid still, I was like, well, what's the man's cycle?
Yeah, and nobody ever tells you
No
that,
one
do
knows.
they?
No one knew.
Well, there we go. I've learnt
Yeah,
something today. Although when you mention that, it's like, well, that's obvious, isn't it? How could we miss that?
exactly.
I love it.
Yes, yes, it's
Well,
beautiful.
Mel, we're going to line up another conversation at some stage soon, and we maybe like Dave and I, as you may have heard me talking about on some of my videos, are looking to start doing more retreats where like-minded community comes together
Yes,
and interacts. Because it was so lovely to meet you
fantastic.
and
Yes,
Nancy in the
yes,
solstice.
yes, yes,
Just
yeah.
wonderful. And Dave and I realized the value, especially in our fractured world right now, of connecting with
Mhm.
like-minded kindred spirits. It's so important. So we might
Yeah.
have to get you to come to a retreat at some point and talk more about this really
Wonderful. Oh, that
wonderful
would be so
experience.
great. I
That would
would love that.
be really, really fun, really fun. So, yes, we'll be keeping in touch and we'll do another video soon. But thank you so
Awesome.
much for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
And
Thank you. I'm
guys,
honored.
in YouTube land, if you want to
Yes.
connect with Mel, details will be in the
Yes.
description below.
Yes.
Check out her website and book your appointment. And Mel, we look forward to having you back again here at Guiding Star Astrology soon. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.